Cooey! Hi guys, hello to everyone watching. I have gained like 100 subscribers in the last week, so that's really exciting. I'm sure that feels like a very small number to a lot of people, but I'm extremely excited by it, and the thing that I'm enjoying most about it is the last video that I posted, the one about me being 32 and still living with my dad and not really having, a career path. It's really, lots of people have been commenting on that video, and it's just been so lovely to read so many people's own experiences and their perspective on different situations. And it's just, it's created a conversation around the topic, and I've just found it really inspiring, and it's been great to just sort of speak to strangers on the internet about life stuff. So if you are new here, welcome to my channel. I've seen so many videos that talk about, niching down your YouTube channel. And I just, when I think about why I'm creating YouTube videos, as much as the numbers are amazing, I want to create videos where I'm talking about things that I'm passionate about, or I'm doing a tutorial on something, or it might be an ASMR video, because I've been really enjoying those recently. Hopefully this is a channel where you can watch the things that you're interested in and leave the other stuff behind, and that way there's a little bit of something for everyone. And I'm getting to be my most, authentic self and my most passionate self. I have just quit my job. I worked the last day at my job on Friday, and I have no job in place. I don't have a job lined up. So I'm currently unemployed, which feels scary, but it also feels exciting. I kind of have a little bit of a plan, but not really. I have ideas of what it is I want to do. So yeah, that is really exciting. So I want to talk a little bit about doing things that we don't really want to do and people pleasing. So when it comes to people pleasing, and this is something I have only really discovered in the last few years about myself, I am someone that will say yes to lots of things that I don't want to do, because in putting someone else's needs before mine, I feel validated by that maybe. I'm also someone that I like to give a lot of time to the important people in my life. If they're going through something, well, no matter what it is they want to talk about, I don't class myself as someone that's particularly good at advice, but I do like to create space for people to talk, because I think that's one of the most important things. And I do think it's quite easy to get hooked on that feeling of being needed, of being that, I've always wanted to be that friend that other friends can come to talk with. And I do think that is very important, but sometimes you need to set yourself boundaries, and I don't think I do that enough. So yeah, people pleasing, I'm sure you've heard the term. If you don't know what it means, it's basically when you put other people's needs and wants above your own, and quite often sacrificing your own in the process. So yeah, I do think that doing things that we don't want to do is also a form of people pleasing. So I'm not talking about, tasks, like everyday tasks that we have to do, to get through the day, like cooking dinner or doing the washing up or, tidying the house, whatever it is. There's always going to be stuff in life that we have to do that we don't want to. I'm talking about when it comes to things like, for example, maybe you've made plans to see a friend for lunch, and it's been in the diary for a few weeks, and it gets to the day before and you really don't want to. You don't feel like you're in a great mental health space. Maybe you feel like it would do you better to stay at home for the day and, you know, have a bit of a self-care day, spend the day in bed, whatever it is. For some reason, you don't want to go and do that thing. And I think what lots of us end up doing is either going and doing that thing anyway, or cancelling but making up an excuse. Okay, so the thing about doing things that you don't really want to do is that, particularly, I think I'm going to speak particularly about, you know, friendships and relationships that you have in your life. When you do things that you don't want to because you know that the other person does want to and you want to put their needs first, if you do that continuously, what happens is you end up building up a bit of an inventory of resentment. You know, that is going to build over time. And it's actually not fair because the person in question doesn't even realise any of this stuff. If you're not being open and honest about how you feel, you're not even giving them a chance to respond. It could be 6 months, a year, 5 years down the line. You almost feel trampled on by someone and they have absolutely no idea. So it's not very fair on the other person. So really, you're doing a disservice to your friend or your sibling or whoever it is, because if we were all to just be a bit more honest about how we feel, first of all, it's going to strengthen that relationship. If you have plans with someone and you're not feeling it, and you send a message and just say, look, I'm really sorry, this is how I'm feeling, can we rearrange for another time? If that person loves you and cares about you, of course, they're going to be disappointed. They are going to be disappointed because you've put something in the diary. They're looking forward to it. They're looking forward to seeing you. This is obviously, you know, you're someone that they value and want to spend time with. It doesn't mean that they're going to be angry with you. And I think if it's someone that loves and cares about you, they're going to want you to be putting your needs first. I mean, if you are a people pleaser like me, and I'm working on it, I really am working on it, I'm trying to, even the idea of that person being disappointed and knowing that you've caused that can feel like this in your stomach. But it's important to recognise that's okay, and like I said, you're probably going to get a loving response. You know, I can talk about from my perspective and how I would feel if I had plans with a friend and they sent me a message and said, you know, I need to cancel, I need a day at home, I need a mental health day, a well-being day, you know, whatever it is you want to call it. My response is going to be, oh, I'm disappointed that I don't get to see you today, but I absolutely understand. I get it. I would much rather you not come and do the thing that we had planned to do and take some time for you than come and, you know, you're not going to be 100%. The day, whatever we have planned, is probably going to suffer for it. It's a lose-lose situation. And the thing with making up an excuse, you know, I think we've all been there. I can, you know, almost guarantee that for everyone watching this video, there has been a time where you've maybe not wanted to do something, and instead of being honest about that, you've said you're not feeling well, or you've made up an excuse. Now, I think all that does is, at the end of the day, the person is still going to be disappointed. The fact that you're not going is still happening, whether you tell the truth, whether you're honest about the reason or not. So making up an excuse doesn't benefit the situation in any way. At least if you're honest with the person, it creates space to have an open dialogue about perhaps what it is you're going through, or your friend or this person that you have in your life might respond and say, do you know what, I'm actually really glad that you said that because I wasn't feeling it either. Let's rearrange for this time. Or maybe it's the case that you and this person have made plans to do a particular thing. You know that person, say you've made plans to go to the cinema, You know that your friend absolutely loves going to the cinema. You're not actually that fussed, but you know, this is your friend and you want to do something nice for them. I think sometimes in those kinds of situations, it really is a judgment call. I think it's just about understanding that we're all different. And even though you have a relationship with someone, platonic, romantic, whatever it is, you're going to have different preferences. You're not always going to like the same things. And so, of course, there is an element of, when, you know, doing things for other people is lovely. And yes, it makes you feel good and it makes that person feel good. But it's when it starts negatively impacting you is when it starts to become an issue. Example of this actually is recently, it was one of my brother's birthdays and I had decided that I wasn't really drinking at the time. And I felt like him and my sister-in-law were going to be disappointed that I wasn't drinking, because when we get together, we like to have a drink. We like to have, you know, we like to play board games. We like to listen to music. And it was his birthday, you know, it was a special celebration. And I broached it with him and he was like, yes, that's absolutely fine. Like, in my head, I was thinking, oh, they're going to be disappointed. You know, maybe I should just drink, you know. But instead what I did was I just brought it up. I was just honest and said, look, you know, are you going to be okay if I don't drink? And he was like, of course. You know, you do what you want. And so sometimes I think we all just need to be a bit more honest about how we feel. You know, maybe we just need to give the people in our lives a bit more credit. I think some of us think, I know that I have thought this in the past, oh, that person's going to be like really angry with me if I cancel. If that person's annoyed at you for putting yourself first. Now, I'm not talking about like royally taking the mick, but I have done this before where I've sent a message to a person that I had plans with, one of my dear friends, and I said, look, I'm just really not feeling it. I feel like I just don't want to leave the house tomorrow. And the response was, absolutely no worries. Let's rearrange for this date. Yes, amazing. I would say that people pleasing, you know, it costs energy, it costs self-respect. And actually, all you're doing is doing a disservice to yourself and to your friend and to the relationship. Because like I said earlier, being honest just creates an open dialogue. It makes space to have a more authentic relationship, a more authentic friendship. And you don't end up with this long mental list of all these things that you did that you didn't really want to because you know that your friend did. Like I said, there are degrees to this. There really are degrees, but that's a personal judgment thing. And you know, this isn't something that all of us can just like start doing straight off the bat. If you're someone that likes to people please a lot, like me, just start off small, just small things. Maybe it's not about just starting to say no straight away. Maybe it's about just having these kinds of conversations, you know, apropos nothing, with... it just reminds me of my brother. Yeah, just having these conversations. Yeah, just meet up with a friend and be like, hey, I've been thinking about this, you know, sometimes when we've had plans, I've not really felt like I'm in the right place for it, but I've come along anyway. Have you ever done that? Are you in the same boat? Do you find that you tend to people please? You know, it's all about just creating healthy, honest conversations. So yeah, if you have any words of wisdom on the topic, I absolutely love reading all of the comments. So please, if you want to contribute something, do. If you have any tips on how to stop people pleasing, you know, I know that there are lots of people probably that are going to watch this video and be like, yeah, if I don't want to do something, I just don't do it. Some people are like that, and that's awesome. Realistically, I would just like to be a bit more... I would just like to listen to myself a bit more instead of thinking, oh, I can't say no to that because they're going to hate me, or, you know, they're not going to like me as much. This need to want to be liked, I definitely carry that a little bit with me as well. So yeah, if anything in this video resonates with you, please leave me a comment. Yeah, I'd just be really interested in anybody's insights or anybody else's experiences with, you know, doing things that you don't always want to do and people pleasing. So I hope you're having a lovely day, and I will see you in my next video, whatever it is. It could be a tutorial, it could be ASMR, it could be a day in the life of me not having a job. If you've got this far, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!